How many of you want to change the world? You want to change the world? I want to change the world. I don't know about you. I wake up every day. I want to change the world. I mean, I've been told my whole life, you can change the world. Have you been told that before? You can change the world. I love that. You know, you can change the world. You know, and in the church world, I mean, that's really our goal. We want to change the world. We want to change the world for Jesus. We want to change the world. I don't know about you, but I grew up with one passage of scripture in particular that was always taught to me about changing the world. Can anybody guess what that passage of scripture might be about changing the world? Does anybody know? That's a good one. Very close. Very close. That one almost would work. No, not that one either. It's close. It's called the Great Commission. Does anybody know? Does anybody know what the Great Commission? Go into all the world, right? It was like the one sermon where the pastor would say, go into all the world. You can change the world. Go into all the world, right? You heard that passage before? I'll read it to you. I'm sorry for my voice. Y'all just got me preaching too many times in a row on Sundays. 7 weeks in a row now is a lot. I need a nap. Mark 16, verse 15 through 18 says, and then he told them, this is Jesus speaking, go into all the world and preach the good news to everyone. Anyone who believes is baptized and is baptized will be saved, but anyone who refuses to believe will be condemned. Now, that's amazing. Wouldn't you want to change the world like that? Like, I think that's how we change the world here at our church. The thing is I wish it stopped there, because that would be fun. That's what we do. We change the world. We get people saved. We get them baptized. Then it goes, verse 17, don't stop. These miraculous signs will accompany those who believe. They will cast out demons. All the hands start going down. Do you want to change the world? Oh. In my name, and they will speak in new languages. Hands keep going down. Verse 18, they will be able to handle snakes with safety. Hands start going way down. And if they drink anything poisonous, it won't hurt them. Hands go way down. People start leaving. And they will be able to place their hands on the sick, and they will be healed. If there's anything I know about a commissioning, this is the Great Commission, that if you want a broad audience, make your appeal general. Let's change the world. Everybody's hand went up. Right? You want to change the world tonight? I do. You want the real audience, ask them to handle a snake. Like a leader understands that when I lead, I create a compelling ask that's general at the beginning, but it funnels down to the core. That's why I love ALM. The reason that you are here tonight is because you believe you can handle a snake. On Sundays, everybody wants to change the world. On Monday nights, on the first Monday, you're the snake handling crew. You're the poison drinking crew. I mean, y'all are the crazy Kool-Aid drinking people. Because why? Because your commitment level is way higher than I just want to change the world. There are verse 15 people, Sunday morning, which is awesome. Praise God for that. And then there are verse 18 people who lay their hands on the sick and they expect them to be healed. I don't know about you. I'm not interested in surrounding myself with only verse 15 people. I want a team of people and a group of people that also believe in verse 18. Now, I'm not interested in bringing snakes. There won't be any snakes tonight or anything like that, all right? But here on Destiny Drive, we found them, so it wouldn't surprise me. And I'm not talking about the people. I'm about actual snakes. So the way that I look at this is very interesting to me, because you have changed the world. And change the world is like, I love you, right? It's like I love you. If I told you I love you, you believe me, right? But I also love tacos. So which one is it? I also love to take a nap. I also love the Carolina Panthers when they're winning and when they're losing. So, like, change the world in my mind is like I love you. It's too ambiguous. It has no expiration date. It has no deadline. So you can put it on a t-shirt and you can put it on a mug because it sounds good, but what is that really? It's like I love you. It's ambiguous. It's got no deadline. There's no accountability to change the world. You can say, I'm changing the world. Well, tell me, how are you changing? How? Let me be honest with you. Are we really changing the world? Let's just audit our life, bro. Are we changing the world? I don't know. I love you, but I also love Chick-fil-A. That's what I had for lunch today. So I just want to look at how Jesus brought about his core group of leaders. He started with the wide scope of the funnel. Wouldn't you say that's the wide end of the funnel? Everyone knows what a funnel is, right? Everybody wants to change the world. Okay? This is everyone. And then he gets to snakes. And drinking poison. Like, who wants to drink, the bug spray that Jason sprays in all those houses? Nobody wants to do that. That's essentially what Jesus is saying. He's saying, as a leader, you can be through here. As a follower, you can be up here. So all the followers can change the world at an ambiguous way and feel okay. But all the leaders will have to handle the snakes and have to lay their hands on the sick and have to cast out demons and have to speak in new languages. So if you haven't handled a snake lately, if you haven't been poisoned lately, and if you haven't laid your hands on a sick person lately, then I don't know if you would consider yourself a leader. You might be somewhere in between the funnel of change the world and handle snakes. Because what I've realized about Jesus is that everyone can accept him, but not everyone can lead on his behalf. So everyone can be his disciple, but not everyone can do the discipling. This is the funnel. We're all here to change the world. I mean, I'm cool with that. We got hundreds of people ready to change the world. What I'm finding is that the more I call to commitment, the more I say, how about a snake? Hey, this week, would you mind on Sunday working in kids? Nah. It's the funnel. Them kids are like snakes. They'll bite you. Right? It's the funnel. Will you show up on Thursday night for worship rehearsal? Will you sit through some auditions and sit through a process? Will you sit under leadership in a life group before you start to lead your own life group? Will you actually serve in the parking lot before you get a microphone? See, the problem is everyone wants to change the world because it's not specific. I want to be known as a world changer. Yeah. Do you want to be known as a snake handler, though? I'm finding that changing the world is not the hardest part. The hardest part is getting down to really what it means. It's like I love you, and it's like losing weight. You ever met somebody, I just need to lose some weight? How do you know? You've probably said this before. I need to lose some weight. Maybe you haven't. Maybe you're like, I need to gain some weight. Some people, Pastor Ed needs to gain some weight. You need to put on some muscle mass, right? Twigs back here, Put on some weight. Somebody left, they didn't like my weight talk. That's okay. I see you, Greg. Conviction is real. Conviction is real. In order to lose weight, you can't just say, I need to lose weight. In order to change the world, you just can't say, I need to change the world. Saying I need to lose weight hasn't lost you a calorie. I know this from experience. I used to watch P90X. I did. I would sit on my couch and watch another guy work out. Watching someone else change the world ain't gonna change the world. Watching someone else pray for the sick ain't gonna heal the sick on your behalf. Watching someone else pour out their life for the ministry ain't gonna change the world on your behalf. And so losing weight, changing the world, I love you, very ambiguous. Popular, ambiguous. If you want to lose weight, let me just teach you some fitness. You have to expend more calories than you consume for a long period of time. Let me get more specific. You have to burn more calories every day than you consume. If you lead me to any diet that you've tried to sell me, it's rooted in the same principle. I have to expend more calories than I consume. Now, you can do that through a couple of things. You can work out really, really hard, get your heart rate up, start sweating a lot, begin to burn a lot of calories, and then keep your diet the same so that at the end, if you outwork, you can out-exercise your diet. It's very stressful. That's how I live. It's terrible because most days I just break even. I'm hardly ever at what they call a caloric deficit. What I found is that for me to lose weight, I had to get very specific. And I had to shrink the change that I wanted into micro pieces. This is what Jesus does. He shrinks the change. That's why the title of the talk is, Honey, I Shrunk the Change. Because what he does is he starts with, I want to lose weight. He starts with, I love you. And then he goes all the way down to, I'll do the dishes tonight. Because it's easy to say I love you. It's hard to do the dishes. It's easy to say I want to lose weight. It's hard to wake up early and hit the gym. This is what Jesus did. He shrunk the change. So you got to shrink the change. Now, I know this from my weight loss journey. What I found is that when I ate breakfast, it ruined my whole day. When I ate that first calorie when I woke up, and it wasn't just 1 calorie, it was usually 800 calories, which is a lot, 900 calories. What that did was I still ate the same for the rest of the day. and it kick-started my metabolism. This is how my body works. I'm not saying you have to do what I'm not trying to sell you Beachbody or anything like that. I did what's called intermittent fasting, right? So I have an eating window. It starts at 1 p.m. and it ends around 8 p.m. I don't keep it all the time, but I haven't eaten breakfast in probably a year and a half. Why? Because I know the moment I begin to take in calories and I haven't expended any, I can't leave that day at a deficit. I'll always end it in a caloric surplus. Is this math? Right, it's math. The same is true. I found is I want to lose weight, don't eat breakfast. I like breakfast, but I want to lose weight. Don't eat breakfast. The next thing I found was I got to walk on a treadmill probably till it hits 300 calories, which is usually about 30 minutes, 25 minutes. All these things that I didn't want to do brought about the result that I said I was going to do. All the things that you don't want to do are usually connected to changing the world. So if you want to change the world, don't just say I want to change the world. Say I got to get up early and go to the gym. I got to pray for this person when they tell me that they're sick. I don't just want to hear my coworker's story about how they had a miscarriage. I want to get on my hands and my knees in my prayer closet and go before the throne room on their behalf. I don't want to just see my coworker going through a divorce. I want to step in and say, I believe God can restore and redeem a relationship if you find hope in Jesus. I don't want to look at that cashier in the eye, not knowing their eternal destination. I don't want to change the world if I'm not willing to pray with the cashier at Harris Teeter. So what I'm looking for is a room of people that like to handle snakes. Leaders don't change the world. They shrink the change. Okay? Leaders don't change the world. They shrink the change. We're going to get everybody a notebook for next month. All right, Pastor Ed? Approved financially. I know we're on a spending freeze, but we're going to get everybody a notebook. Next month, when you come to the all leaders meeting, you'll have a notebook. All leaders don't change the world. They shrink the change. All right? You don't just lose weight. You shrink losing weight down to your activities. I can't go there. I can't eat that. I have to go there. I have to get up. You shrink it. Here's how you shrink the change. You ready? You do the same things consistently. Pray and read every single day. Consistency is what produces someone that changes the world. If you're here today, gone tomorrow, if you're at, I was going to say a name of a church. If you're at that church one Sunday and then this church or their first service and our second service, there are people that do that. If you drop your kids off here and don't come to service and you go to Starbucks, if you're not consistently under the teaching of God's word, if you're not consistently in prayer, if you're not consistently in a life group, if you're not consistent in your giving, consistent in your, you can't expect to change the world. It's consistency that breeds changing the world. I've met people that for 2 weeks they've lived on fire for God, and then for 3 months they didn't. And why didn't I lose any weight? Well, you went to the gym one time in 90 days. I'm just preaching like I would if y'all were my children, because I really want you to understand how this works. Here's how also doing the same things consistently. The next one is this: doing a few things excellently. As a church, we can't get caught up in all sorts of ministries. Trust me when I tell you, I get asked all the time, Pastor, can we have a left-handed basket weaving ministry? No. Can we start a school? We have a building. No. Can we start a leadership academy? No. Can we do? No. Why? Because I have to do a few things well in order to change the world. Notice that the list that Jesus gave them wasn't very long. It was a couple of verses. Baptize them, right? Baptize them. Miraculous signs, cast out demons, speak in new languages, handle snakes with safety, drink anything poisonous, and able to place your hands on the sick and they will be healed. It wasn't Awana, Royal Ranger, summer camp, harvest festivals, fall festivals, Halloween festivals. We can't and change the world, right? If you fill up the bottom of the funnel, it gets clogged with too much. And so many churches are trying to change the world with 800 ministries. All of them mediocre, none of them excellent. That's why I have to learn to say no to so much. And it hurts me because I know you have a passion for this and a passion for that. But your passion sometimes gets in the way of our purpose. But if you funnel it through the things that we do, and if you don't know what those things are, there's 5 of them. We call them the Focus 5. That is, we expect people to encounter God. If you ask me, how did we interpret the Great Commission from Jesus? We want you to encounter God. Well, where do I encounter God? It's on the weekend. Sunday morning is about encountering God. It's not about anything else, encountering God. If your friends encounter God on Sunday, we did our job. That's it. Not even about us. It's really about those that have never encountered God before. Number 2 is leaving a legacy. That's in the next generation. That's why we prioritize kids. That's why I'm so glad your son is getting baptized. Praise be to God for that. What an environment we've created that allows people to leave a legacy like that. Someone's going to have to take this microphone when my voice dies when I'm 98 years old. We believe in leaving a legacy. That's number 2. Number 3 is we believe in discovering your purpose. That's really what this is about right here. That's discovering your purpose. That's involvement in serving. We believe everyone should be discovering their purpose. That's the third thing. The fourth thing is we believe that you should be in real relationships. Many of you already are a result of life group. You know how healthy it is. But your sanity is based upon whether or not you can call someone when you get a flat tire. It's just true. We've grown by 300 people over the past year. There's no way I could add all those contacts. I'd be changing tires all week long. I'd be moving people every Saturday. I'd be officiating a wedding every single Saturday. It's impossible. You have to get in relationship with people that you can do life with. I'm now getting told you're not doing my wedding. And I'm getting offended. Before I said, I don't want to do no more weddings. I all these Saturday. I don't like losing my Saturday. Now people are like, no, I got Pastor Ed's doing my wedding. I'm like, what? Excuse me? Someone told me the other day, Dean Scarborough, he's doing my wedding. I'm like, what? Pastor Chris is doing my wedding. What? How dare you? What I prayed for the ability to have a Saturday off, and now you're taking away from me my prayer request, answering my prayers, right? Why? Because we can only do 5 things at the bottom. Encounter God, leave a legacy, real relationships, discover purpose, and we want you to make a difference. That's through outreach. That's it. That's why we do Backpack Buddies. That's why we believe in partnering with other organizations. That's why we don't have really much outreach on site. First of all, if you're in need, you can't make it out here. 100%. 100%. God bless the clothing closet and the food pantry that was here when I became the pastor here, but nobody can come out here. It just can't. If you don't got gas or food, you ain't gonna drive down Destiny Drive. It takes you a mile to get to the church. You're like, no, I'd rather wait and go to the grocery store, right? So we partner with people like Wake County Women's Center, Teen Challenge, all those other things. Why? Because we believe in a small funnel. So we have to do a few things. And then the last thing is this, is you have to do one thing with accountability. You have to do one thing with accountability. Here's the one thing I'm going to ask you to do with accountability over the next month, 30 days. I want you to recruit one person who has never served on a team or who hasn't served in a long time. That's the one thing I'm going to hold you accountable for from now until the next first Monday, okay? From now until next first Monday, one person that's never served. They're out there. Trust me. Because I look at the numbers, and if there's 830-something people on average, I know what our average serving number is, and it ain't that. So there's plenty of fish in the sea. Don't be nervous. Just get to know someone. Hey, have you ever thought about putting on a lanyard and helping me at the front door? Have you ever thought about maybe serving one service a month? I'm going to hold you accountable to it because we can't change the world unless you're willing to handle some snakes. Oh, I want to change the world. Pastor, I'm with you. Are you with me? Because you're up here with me up here. But when we get down here, I'm like, all right, I need you to recruit one volunteer. Just one. If you recruited one volunteer, we would add literally probably 50 volunteers this month. You want to change the world? Add 50 volunteers a month. Watch what happens. Like, it's not rocket science. Just be at a caloric deficit every single day and you will lose weight. You don't need to buy my product. You don't need to subscribe to my video series. Get 50 volunteers per month, one volunteer each of us. I promise you right now, it'll end up changing the world. I want to change the world. I know you want to change the world. So I'm just getting down to the nitty gritty. I'm going to hold you accountable for one thing. If I held you accountable for all the things, did you read your Bible? Did you pray in tongues? Did you witness? Just recruit one new volunteer that does not serve. That's all I'm asking. One person. And they don't have to serve every week. They don't have to become the associate pastor. I'm just asking for you to find me a greeter. Find me an experienced host, an usher. Find me someone to do on the safety team. Just find me one musician. God, just find me one drummer, Lord. Find me another keyboard player, God. That could take some people, give them a week off, God. You know, just one musician. I'm just asking for one. And some of you know the people already, and God's going to bring them to your mind. And you're going to sit at coffee with them, and the whole time you're like, you're not going to be able to even talk about anything else, but you're not going to be able to talk about the weather, or your kid's soccer game, or whatever it is. You're going to be like, I got to ask them to help serve. Just send them to igettoserve.com or whoever the leader is for that team. Okay, here's the next thing. Leaders don't raise the bar. They actually lower it. The bar is high when I say change the world. I lower it when I make it accessible to you. Just recruit one volunteer. That's lowering the bar. I could get up here and raise the bar. Let's add to our teams. It's ambiguous. That's big picture. That's change the world. That's preach the gospel. That's big. I don't know what that means. What it means is I'm gonna lower the bar. Leaders, you need to learn to lower the bar. You don't have to lead worship on your first Sunday. Just come out here and just watch how the camera operators work. Lower the bar. You don't have to lead the discussion this week in our life group. Just open us up in prayer. Right? Would you just stand at the door and greet? Leaders don't raise the bar. We actually raise the bar by lowering the bar. I know it's changing your leadership perspective, because what you want is challenge. What you want, because you're a leader. But as a leader, you have to learn, in order for you to get where I want you to go, I can't tell you all the things that God has given me at once. If I gave you everything God's given me for this church, you couldn't. I got to lower. I got to say, first we got to get our generosity up. Then we got to get this debt load down. Then when I can get this debt load down, I can start actually changing the world. But for me to tell you all the things that I believe God has called us to at once, you'd say, whew, that was a lot. But if I say, hey, let's just start being generous. Let's get the debt load down. Hey, what do you think about offering health insurance to our employees? You think that's a weird idea? Think that's uncommon? Right? Like in order for us to change the world, I need a team that doesn't have to fight and scrape the bottom of the barrel every single month to provide for their family. But in order for us to get that, we got to lower the debt load. We got to raise the generosity and lower the debt load. And so, like, I could give you a lot of things that God has showed me, but instead I'm just like, just give. If you give, we lower the debt load. If we lower the debt load, I can give him health insurance. He can have more kids, right? And then his kids can sign up to be baptized 10 years, 11 years from now, right? Like, and then we've changed the world. It starts at the bottom, handling snakes. So leaders don't raise the bar, they lower it. I was reading about coaches that have coached Super Bowl teams, and they said they don't talk about the Super Bowl in training camp. They don't mention the Super Bowl. They don't motivate them with, let's go to the championship. They don't motivate them in the summertime. All they say is, can you squat 5 more pounds? Can you put up 5 more pounds on that bar? Hey, why don't you work on your back squat a little bit? And what they don't understand is that incremental change leads to the Super Bowl. And so when you add weight on the bar, you become a stronger athlete. When I make you a stronger athlete incrementally, we go to the championship. So instead of being a coach that always talks about the Super Bowl, we're going to reach 10% of the population of Raleigh. Pastor, I don't know how we're going to do that. Well, let's just start by getting one volunteer this month to help us serve. Right? I'm just breaking it down because that's how we win the championship. Coaches break down the Super Bowl into bite-sized improvements, not just posting about the championship. They call them wins within reach. Like, I'm going to give you a win within reach today. A win within reach is just recruiting one volunteer. A win within reach. The last thing, and I'll close with this, and John, if you can just come and play your guitar like you do. I'm so proud of you, bro. This is, I don't think you realize. I'm going to take a pause break for just a second. I'm so proud of you. I want you to know that I know that this year has probably been the challenging year of your young life, most challenging year of your young life. And I want to let you know that your consistency in bringing us into the presence of God will keep you when you don't feel the presence of God. And I know that there have been very difficult times in your life this year. And I'm just so proud of you. I love you like you're my son. And I hate that you're at the Apex campus. Let the record show. Put that on the video. Whoever goes to the Apex campus, y'all are blessed and highly favored. Because you got John on keyboard. I can have favorites too because I'm the pastor. It's my son. I was thinking about the day I did a video conference call 8 years ago to get matching funds, $30,000 from our denomination. They were interviewing me to see if our church plant was actually viable. I wasn't going to just pulling the wool over their eyes and faking them and taking $30,000 and going on a nice vacation. So I had my headphones on. I'm on a conference call. I'm inside my son's room. That was also John's room. And John was working nights at the Lowe's Home Improvement at Beaver Creek in Apex, living with us. The church hadn't started yet. So I'm interviewing with these people at this boardroom, and I'm dressed nice from the top up, because they can't see I'm in my shorts, but I have my suit on, And I'm watching myself on the little screen, and they're on the big screen, and all of a sudden, John doesn't know what's happening, but John wakes up, and he gets into the shot. Here's this strange man that hasn't been on the call for 35 minutes. All of a sudden, John wakes up This was 8 years ago. And they're like, who's that man back there? I'm like, we're just trying to preach the gospel. He's working nights. I'm working at Panera. We're just trying to make a difference. I want to let you know, man, you don't have to sleep on my floor anymore, man. He owns his own house now. Come on now. God's been good. Here's my last point, and we're gonna close with this. Leaders don't lead everyone. They develop someone. Let me say that one more time. Leaders don't lead everyone. They develop someone. I'm not asking you to lead 100 people. I physically cannot lead 100 people. I can barely lead the 5 people on my executive team. They stress me out. They wear me out. I can barely lead them. I barely have the capacity because they're running so fast. I'm trying to keep up with them. They're making decisions that are so amazing, and I'm like, I wish I would have thought of that. I'm not asking you to lead multiple. I'm asking you to develop one person. Just ask one person to join the prayer team with you this weekend. And just take a step, take a risk. Why? Because Jesus didn't lead everyone. As a matter of fact, he didn't even lead the 12. He actually only had three people, Peter, James, and John. That was it. Could you name all 12 disciples? If I asked you right now, could you name all 12 disciples? You could probably name his top 3 though, right? Even Jesus played favorites. Even Jesus understood that I don't change the world by leading the world. I change the world by developing one person, by getting one new camera operator, by getting one new background vocalist, by getting one new usher, one new greeter, one new prayer team member. You change the world one person at a time. And so, how many of you want to change the world? How many of you want to change the world? Let's stand to our feet. Let's lift our hands and let's thank God that we have the opportunity to change the world.